There we go. All right. Yeah, I was on mute. Okay. Cool. Thank you for that. Thank you for joining up. James, we got James in here today. All right. It's a special day in time. We got my man James in. Paul, good to see you. My man Randy, what's happening? Lewis, thank you for joining. Where are we? Where are we at? So I know I got DMV, Ash. Let's see. There was two people that sort of logged on as me that had me confused right now. But I know who I am. I don't know who the other Jason Stubblefield is. We'll figure it out later. Appreciate you taking time out of your Tuesday. Let's go ahead and get rock and rolling. We got a lot of stuff to cover on today. Still got other people sort of signing in here, and we also got Facebook Live. So I'm checking that. Wayne, hopefully you can hear me now. If you're on Facebook, go ahead and drop a comment there to let me know if the audio is good. So we got two going on. Y'all just gotta bear with me for a little bit. I'll work it out eventually, but it's gonna take some time. So for today, I just want to go ahead and set the stage. Let's see if we get a new come here. But I want to set the stage because we were going to have my man August, who was supposed to come in today. And thank you for that, Wayne. Was supposed to come in today and talk to us about build to rent. And so build to rent is a very interesting subject, but I'm not going to talk about it today because August can't make it. We got a email from him earlier today stating that his flight got delayed. I think he was trying to fly back home, wasn't able to make it there. And so he's not able to join today to talk about our build to rent. But you do have me, and I think that for a lot of people, you're going to be in for a treat today, because what I decided to do is just share some useful information. And what we're going to be discussing is about how to find deals in this market. What I'm going to share is a tactic that I don't hear a lot of people talk about. It's something that's very unique to me. And honestly, I really only share this with my clients, right? I really only go through this with them and sort of break through the details. But hey, if those people who are part of the multifamily code, if you showed up today, I want to be able to give you something valuable. So I promise you that if you will implement what I'm going to share here with you, you will see your inbox fill up with deals, and trying to find deals will no longer be a problem. So to those who are joining late and you want to talk about build to rent, sorry, we won't be talking about that. We'll reschedule August for another time once he gets settled. But today we're going to talk about how to go ahead and find properties in a hot market. So for those of you who are looking to buy deals, you can go out, find those deals, put those deals on the contract, and grow your portfolio. So for those who are not familiar with me, my name is Jason Stubblefield. What you should be seeing on the screen right now is my website. This is snscapitalpartners.com. That's like Sam, Nancy, Sam, capitalpartners.com. And here you can hear or find out a little bit more about me, some of the deals that we have done. Also, if you're interested in hearing about some of the projects that we have coming up, you want to go over to the Invest tab. And once you go to the Invest tab, you can join our community. If you are to do that, you'll be put on the list to hear about our projects that we have coming up. So just a brief form for you to fill out. That'll put you on the list. You and I will have a conversation so I can sort of learn about what you're looking for out of your investments, and you can start hearing about some of the investments that we have coming up. So just want to go ahead and let you know how to do that. Not to mention that I'm going to be rolling out a project that is I haven't seen anything like it, but it's pretty good. I'm excited about it, and that's coming out next week. So if you are interested in hearing about that, and we haven't had a discussion, or you haven't joined our investor list, strongly encourage you to do so. So I got looks like I got either Chris or Irish in here, so appreciate you. Please just try to keep me honest on Facebook Live so I don't I don't forget about those people. But without holding anything else off, I want to go ahead and just dive right into this because I'm excited to have this conversation. And I do say conversation intentionally, right? So I do not want anybody who showed up to just hang out on the sidelines and feel like you don't have any input. If you want to unmute yourself, if you are here with me in the Zoom meeting, or if you choose to ask a question in the chat, we'll try to answer those. I want to make sure that this is interactive, so I don't want to lose anybody. But what I'm covering today is going to be fairly straightforward, something you can put into practice right away. So a lot of people, they are struggling, right? I'm struggling. They're struggling to be able to find deals. Where are the deals at? You're hearing about deals being done, but you don't even know. And I personally, I took it upon myself to really be frustrated if I saw a deal in a market that I was interested in and I didn't know about it. My team didn't underwrite it. It would piss me off, right? Why didn't I see that deal? Why don't I know about it? And you should take the same type of mentality in your business. You want to be able to see everything that is in your market. And so let's talk about how you can do that. So I'm going to share my screen. We're going to be very hands-on today, going right, so you can follow along if you want to do this, but take notes. You don't want to miss this. So I go to a website, loopnet.com, and you may have heard about this website, and most people use this website in the general sense. Let me go ahead and log in so it so I don't get I think it should go here. I don't even know how I log into here anymore. I could be on the right one. I could not. It seemed like that worked. So, all right, good. But most people, they use LoopNet and they go out and they look for deals and they try to see what they can find. So let's just say your market is Georgia. What most people do is they come in here and they may put Georgia for multifamily, and you do a search and you get these results, right? So not bad. You see a large amount of deals are here in the Atlanta area. You've got other deals making here. So you can see this. And a lot of people, they'll reach out to the brokers and find these sorts of deals. This is not the way I use LoopNet, though. This is a great way to find deals that are listed on LoopNet. But for those who are not familiar, a lot of deals aren't traded on LoopNet, or most brokerages don't put their best deals on LoopNet. They just put out maybe a feeler here or there. Some brokers will put everything that they have, but some brokers don't. And so why is that? In this industry, brokers are not necessarily looking for buyers, right? Because there's not a lot of people that can show up and perform, right? So we're looking at a $3 million deal. If we just pick on this one right now, this is a $3 million deal in Atlanta. So there's very few select people that can afford to buy this $3.3 million property. And so brokers aren't out like residential brokers trying to advertise and just publish this property out to everybody. They really only want to meet and have a relationship with people who they feel like they can perform. And so if you go through LoopNet and you just look for the brokers who are advertising their properties there, you're only getting a subset of the market. So what I'm going to do now is show you the technique that I use to go find brokers off of LoopNet. One other thing to note before you do that is, it's not to say that you should not look at LoopNet at all, because you definitely should use it as a resource. It gets a bad rap. I bought deals off of LoopNet before, so don't just discard it as being completely useless. Just understand there could be great deals on LoopNet. There also could be bad deals on LoopNet, just like with any other brokerage, right? They might have good deals. They might have some deals that are not so hot. But what I do, and I I'm doing this in my market, right? So I'm showing it, but I come from an abundance mindset. So I'm not afraid to share it with you. So come on, there's enough for everybody. But what I do when I'm looking at LoopNet is instead of just looking on this location and seeing the brokers who have posted up their listings, I come over here to the menu tab. And if you click on menu, anybody stop me if I'm going too fast if you don't follow this. But if I go to menu and I go down here to find a broker. So if you click on that, right now you have this form. Okay. And so now I'm going to repeat that process. So let's say I'm looking for brokers in Georgia. I'll put in Georgia as my location. For the company name, I usually leave that blank. Not going to do anything with that. Property type expertise. I'm focusing on multifamily. So I want to select that. So clicking on multifamily. In languages, I don't necessarily care. And I don't put in broker name or last name. I'm not looking for anybody specific, but I am looking for brokers in the state of Georgia. And I hit this search. And when I do that, right, a lot of you are struggling to find deals, but now I've got pages of brokers and brokerages. So what do we have here? Newmark, The Good Group, CBRE, Joel and Granat Real Estate, right? So you have all of these brokerages and all these brokers. So this is 50 plus pages of brokers. And what are they giving me? Giving me maybe 10. That looks like about 10 brokers per page. So in this quick search, I just found 500 brokers in Georgia. All right. So what do you do with those 500 brokers right now that you've used this technique? It's right there, but not a lot of people tap into this. Now you got 500 brokers. What do you do? So what I do is I send them all, and I'll say all, I do mean all, a personal message. So I would click on Kevin Lott, and right here, I've got his phone number and the ability to send a message. All right, so I would go into send a message, and you don't get a lot of characters right here, but you do have some characters. So it's everybody following me from what I've said thus far, right? I'm checking on Facebook, looks like we're good. Check the chat, looks like we're good there. Okay, so if you're seeing this, right, if you're seeing this spot here where you can send a message to this broker, now is where you want to go and get savvy. I would not recommend that you go and send this personal message yourself to each one of these brokers, but you're going to write a template message that you want to send to all those brokers. And you also want to be careful about the wording that you choose. A lot of people, they don't take the extra 5 or 10 minutes to just be a little bit more thoughtful about what it is that you're doing. So you may say, hey, Kevin, I'm looking for deals, right? That may be what comes to your mind to type as you're just trying to get this done. I would strongly encourage you not to do that. Again, as I mentioned before, these brokers are not looking for the general public. They're not trying to find anybody who just knows about properties. They want somebody who they feel is very capable of performing on the deal. They want somebody who has money or has experience. And if you are new, you may not have much of either, right? But you still want to be able to craft a message so that you will pique the interest of the broker, and then they will want to share their future listings with you. All right, so some of these people may have listings right now. Some of them may not have listings for a while, but what you want to do is be able to get on their broker list. So here's my recommendation, and I'll stop sharing the screen for a minute. But when you are drafting up that message, here's what you want to do. You want to be able to compel that broker to send you deals. That is the goal of this message, right? To make sure that that broker sees your message and now says, this is a person I should share deals with. So how do you do that? You craft a message that makes you attractive to that broker. So it's almost like you're writing a brief sales letter to the broker to tell them why they should share their deals with you. So let's say, for instance, you've been in single family and maybe you're now looking into multifamily. And so you sold maybe one property. Let's just say it's just one property that you sold, right? I would send a message like, hey, Mr. Broker, I just liquidated my single family portfolio. Is it truthful? Yes, but it's writing in a way that will catch the interest of the person that you're targeting, right? You don't want to say I just sold a single family house for 200 grand, right? That's not going to really draw that broker to you. But you do want to use something in your personal life. If you sold your stock or some stock, you may say something like, I just liquidated my stock portfolio and now I'm looking to buy apartments, right? Something that shows that you have either money or experience. Another thing I say, maybe you belong to a team or you found a team. I know people that I work with, they can leverage me as part of their team. You may say, my team and I own over 1,000 units, or we bought over 1,000 units, or even if it's 100 units, or whoever your team is, right? You may say, me and my team done X. Basically, what you are saying is something that lets that broker know that you have experience or that you have money, right? So when they see that, you want to stand out. You're looking to stand out amongst everybody else so that they understand that you are a person that's somewhat unique. Now, if everybody clear on that, you just want to take some time to think about that message, craft it. You only have like a few sentences, but make sure that you use those sentences in order to say something compelling to that broker. Once you do that, now you're going to leverage your time, right? Be savvy. So in this instance, I would hire a virtual assistant, right? And where can you find a virtual assistant? Plenty of places. For tasks like this, I like Fiverr.com. That's Fiverr.com. I think I spelled it right. It's basically Fiverr with 2 R's at the end, right? And you go to Fiverr.com and tell them what you're looking to do. And a lot of the ways that I share, I like sharing on video. So I just walk through the steps of video. So let's go ahead and pick back up with the screen share so you get a good sense of what I'm saying. So it'd be like, hey, Kevin, I just liquidated, if I can spell this right, my single family portfolio, whatever you're going to say. There you go. Looking for, maybe you want to say whatever your criteria is, right? So if you're looking for 15 units or 20 units properties, right? You can put that there, right? But you can also keep it generic, right? So whatever you come up with as your few sentences here, you want to make sure that it's unique, and you want to make sure that it says, hey, I have money or I have experience, right? You're going to send that to this broker. Now you've hired your virtual assistant. Your virtual assistant now has 500 brokers to reach out to and send messages. Does this make sense? Do you see how you can go from a person who is relatively unknown in the marketplace to someone in your market that has now gained the attention of 500 people in your industry, right? If you do this correctly, you will see deals start to flow to you. Not all of them are going to have deals. Not all of them are going to respond to you. Not all of them are going to take you seriously, but you're going to find enough who will, and you start those conversations right there in crafting up, taking 5 minutes of your life to craft up a few minutes, and then having a virtual assistant go through and send out these emails on your behalf. Now that's just Crexi. I mean, that's just LoopNet. I also could do the same thing on Crexi, because there are brokers who are on Crexi who necessarily aren't on LoopNet. So it's the same thing, almost just a different process of getting there. I think you all got it now. Let's just see if I go to, yeah, here, hover under for sale, find a broker. We get the same thing. So similar opportunity. Now I have all these brokers. I can do the same thing and I can message them there. So that's really it, right? If you will follow that process, take the time to craft that message, and then use a virtual assistant to send that out, you will definitely go from somebody who is relatively unknown to somebody who has a lot of traction, a lot of conversations that you can have with brokers. Now, I said that, and I also want to say this. Don't screw this up. All right. Do not screw up this initial conversation with the broker. Paul says, how long will it take a virtual assistant to message 500 brokers, and what will it cost? The cost is usually, that can be done in I really don't know, but you try to figure it out. Maybe you say, if they were just doing that copy and paste 3 hours, maybe you could probably get a virtual assistant at somewhere $5 to $15 an hour. So for $45, $50, you probably can get this task done, and then you gained all these conversations, right? And so Freddie, what type of conversations do you have? That's where I was getting at. You've just now put yourself on the map. You've gone from a nobody, these brokers don't know, to making yourself a somebody, and you stuck your neck out a little bit saying, hey, I've got money, or I've got experience, and I'm looking for deals. Now, do not screw this up. So I'm telling you something that's very powerful and useful to you. But if you are not in a position to talk intelligently to a broker, I would not recommend you use this yet. Take it, keep it, right? Save this as a tactic, but don't necessarily go out and have these conversations when you're not prepared. And so what you should do, if you are ready and if you are able to be a multifamily investor, if you know how to buy apartments, you know how to talk the lingo, talk about cap rates, talk about the market that you're looking for, talk about the types of properties that you're buying. If you can do that, then have that conversation with a broker and go ahead and start this. But if not, you need to take some time to understand the lingo, right? So I played spades, right? That was like a card game. But if you're playing spades and you sit down at the table to play this card game, and somebody says bid your hand, and you say, what's a bid? Well, it's obvious that you don't know how to play spades, and the whole table knows it because you asked a question that was seemingly foolish to the people who know how to play. It's the same thing in commercial real estate. There's another language, there's another lingo there. So if you talk with one of these brokers and they say, what kind of cap rate are you looking for? And you don't have an answer, or you say, what's a cap rate? They immediately know that you're a rookie and that you don't know how to buy deals. So make sure that you educate yourself about learning the lingo, learning the language, learning what you're looking for, so that you can talk to these brokers and be able to engage intelligently, talk through what you're looking for, and make sure that you have a process of doing it. So definitely don't go to this step without getting through the first step, right? And so if you are in the multifamily code, I've got some resources that I can share for that. Also, just with you in your own personal career, right? Make sure that you are doing taking the necessary steps in order to gain knowledge so that you can have these conversations. But when it comes to supercharging your deal flow, what I just shared is going to make it happen for you. And I hope that you found that useful. I guarantee if you put it into motion, it will work. With that being said, do we have any questions about that? I know I was taking some as they came in. Let me go back and check the chat. Let's see. If you create a mail merge with the email template and broker list, then it would take 5 minutes. Yes, that is true. What I would say is that on those platforms, I don't know if they allow you to extract all the personal emails, right? So it's not like, I don't know if you can go to LoopNet or Crexi and just get an email list that you can upload into a CRM and then do a blast. I think that you do have to go through the platform to connect them, and then they connect you to whatever that broker's email is. But also a good thing that you mentioned, that you'll get those responses back through whatever email you use on LoopNet. But if you also put in your email address in your message, right? If you put in your email address in the message, you could also be able to have that broker reach out directly to your email, and they may skip around going through LoopNet. All right. So when you are marketing, which is that's what you are, that's part of this process. You are now marketing to a team of brokers. When you're marketing, you have to know, where is my audience? Where are the people who are going to be my ideal client or my ideal audience? Where are they located at? And in this instance, your audience or your market is brokers, and those brokers are on LoopNet and they're on Crexi. This is your method to go find them and extract them into your world, so you can start having them send you deals. Let's see. Questions, anything else? Let me check the Facebook. Okay. Are these brokers charged referral fee when you reach out on LoopNet? That is a no, right? So while I'm on that, let me just say this too, right? So brokers should not be getting paid from you until you buy a deal with them, right? There's no money exchange until you have bought a property, and they should be they get a commission at that point. But there shouldn't be any finder's fee, no referral fees. What happens is, a lot of residential agents will try to step into the commercial world, and they do so with a residential mindset. So they may want you to sign an exclusivity agreement with them. Don't do that. You're only going to work with the broker who you're buying a deal with. All right. You're not going to have a buyer's broker that's going to represent you in all your transactions. You're going to be a free agent to go out and buy whatever you find that fits your criteria. And then that broker will be compensated once they close the transaction, and never before then. All right. Let's see. Anything else? I think that answered your question, Lexia. Appreciate that. All right. Anybody else on the Zoom? Questions at all? All right. So we did okay, Paul came in. Besides LoopNet and Crexi, what other sources can I use to generate leads? That's a very good question. So what I do is, once I find a broker, I also look for the brokerage, right? So I think I said there were way too many sell a brokerage, but anyways, I look for the brokers that they come from, right? And I'm also looking for other agents that belong to that brokerage. So I want to have a relationship there. And so one of the tactics that you could use with the same strategy that I taught here today is just to find the brokerages, and then look for somebody off of that brokerage. For instance, let's say you see a deal, however it comes to you, you see a deal and it came from Cushman and Wakefield, but you don't have a relationship with anybody from Cushman and Wakefield. What I would do is go to Cushman and Wakefield's website, and then I'm going to look for brokers. They'll list their team there. And now I'm going to look for the brokers that they have on their website. I start at the very top. If I can get to the CEO, to the president, the founder, whoever it is of the company, I want to speak with them, right? So I'll send the email, and they're like, well, why would you do that? Or why would you go try to talk to the top of the company? oftentimes the person at the top of the company is not going to, they're not going to work with you, but they have a different mindset. They're the business owner. And so when they see you come in and you've sent them an email and they feel like you're credible, what they would do is they'll say to somebody else underneath them, hey, go work with Paul, right? So they say, Paul just messaged me. Now they're going to message one of their junior brokers to say, go help Paul find a deal. Now, what does that do for you, Paul? It allows you to have a leg up, because once their boss told them to work with you, well, now they're automatically going to work with you, right? Because it's come down from their chain of command, right? And they're like, hey, I need to go help Paul because my boss told me to help Paul, right? That's one of the benefits of starting at the top. If I can't get any traction at the top, I'll also start at the bottom. And so what you'll find is, if you're new, you may find more traction with the newer broker. So the broker who's been buying and selling deals for 30 years is highly unlikely to work with somebody who's brand new. They've already built up a list of buyers. They already know who they're going to take their off-market deals to. They're not necessarily looking for anybody else. So you're going to have trouble trying to build a relationship with them. But the new guy, right, the one who just started in the brokerage a month or a year ago, they're hungry, right? They're trying to get deals. And so if you can develop a relationship with them, saying, I'm new, I'm looking to build my portfolio. They're new, maybe looking to get their second or third or even their first sale. Now you can start to build a relationship that lasts, and you all can build your portfolios together. Okay. So, cool. I think I answered that. If you call or email them from LoopNet, that counts as a lead. I didn't realize that until one yelled at me before I learned more about the platform. I'm not familiar with what you're talking about, Lexi, with getting yelled at because you emailed them from LoopNet. I didn't have that problem. I don't know if anybody else has had that problem, but we just send messages, and that was it. So anybody, so Montiola, excuse me if I said your name wrong, but do you want to unmute and maybe talk about what's happening there so we can
So
chat about
basically,
it?
you'll get a message from some of the brokers saying, per terms of use, what you're doing is considered spamming and it goes against the term of use of the website, and please remove me from your list or don't contact me again or I'll report you and get you kicked off the platform. So, I've only gotten 3 or 4 or 5 complaints maybe over the last 6 months.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha. Okay.
other times
Okay.
you'll get weird phone calls, but it depends on, your area that you choose. You'll get calls throughout the day or messages. Hey, I got a deal, call me. Hey, I got a deal, call me. So it definitely gets you.
Okay, and maybe Lexia, maybe that's what you were talking about. So when I did it, I didn't get that, right? I didn't have any reach back, but I think what was just shared, I mean, it's going to be, from what I know, these messages go directly to that broker, right? So you may find a broker who's like, don't email me, right? Or get away from me. If that's the case, fine. Move on to the next one, right? You will find that probably anytime that you are doing anything in bulk. Is it spam? Yes. You are sending a large amount of messages. Is it effective? Yes. If you want to avoid that, one thing that comes to mind for me is just narrowing down your search criteria. So instead of doing the whole Georgia or a lot, maybe you only do a city, right? A city at the time. So there should be less brokers in that city. And then also you may want to be very careful if you're doing the same brokerage, right? So how can you avoid that? Same thing, use your virtual assistant to take that list and parse it, right? So instead of just the name of the broker, when I say that, you want to get brokerages off of that list. So I'm looking for somebody from Cushman and Wakefield, from Marcus and Millichap, from GREA, name it. You just go through there and say, what are all these brokerages? And now I'm only going to send one message to each brokerage. And that's just if you really are concerned with getting that spam message. For me, I've never gotten kicked off the platform. I don't know anybody who's been kicked off the platform. I would, maybe you don't send all 500 right away. Maybe you do, 100 here or 50 at a time, something like that to calm it down a little bit. But I think the effectiveness is still there, right? The process is still going to work. If you want to not ruffle any feathers, maybe you should slow down. But hopefully you found that helpful as the ways to mitigate that. And thanks for sharing that, Montiel. Appreciate it. All right. So James came in. He put it in the chat. I want to share with everybody right now. But James is in the DC area and he's looking for somebody who can help him underwrite deals. Right. He's looking in North Carolina. So this is how partnerships are formed. So if anybody wants to reach out to James, right, he's got his contact information there in the chat. You can start to have a conversation with him, see how that may work. Speaking of that, we got a few minutes here before we wrap it up. And something I love doing with this meetup is having a time where we talk about needs and wants. And so James sort of kicked it off because he's been in this meetup before. He knows how it works. But does anybody have anything that they are working on? Do they have anything that they are looking for that they like to unmute and sort of share right now before we wrap this meeting up? As James is the only one for today. Go once, go twice.
I don't know if it's working. Well, I'm still trying to underwrite a hotel conversion, as well as learn hotel conversions.
Yeah.
That's always fun. A little different in apartments.
Yeah. Where is it something that you're learning, or I guess what's your ask? You're looking for somebody who may have done hotel conversions or might be interested in learning it?
Well, no, I was just gonna say I could help James underwrite, depending on what he's looking for. No, I've got somebody I partner with because I partnered on another hotel conversion they're waiting to close on. And then I brought this to the senior level partner for this hotel conversion. I'm trying to get the seller to come down the price so I can at least make sense from the underwriting perspective. So.
Nice. Nice. So yeah, James and Moniola, you may want to talk. I think James has got his contact information there. So yeah, y'all could connect, could help out with the underwriting some. And that hotel conversion, from what I've heard, I haven't done any personally, but they are very lucrative if you can make it, if you can make your numbers pencil out. So anybody else have needs, wants, or questions about what we discussed today?
Sure. Greetings. And let me see if I can come on camera. Hi, everyone. I'm actually Tiara Bronner. I'm not sure how my name is showing here, but I'm actually interested in getting into wholesales and maybe Airbnb. So maybe buying whole property. I do currently have 2 properties in DC and Maryland that I own and rent out. So I'm just kind of looking to delve more into the investor space. Yeah, I guess I'll put my information in the chat.
Yeah. If you could do that, it was I didn't make out everything, but I didn't know you were looking at Airbnbs and wholesaling. What market are you in?
I'm in DC and Maryland.
Where was that?
DC. I'm sorry, I don't have good service. I guess DC and Maryland.
Okay, DC and Maryland. Yep. Mm-hmm. So Northern Virginia people, DC people, DMV people. You may want to talk to Tiara. And yeah, if you could put your contact information in the chat, those who are interested, they can reach out to you there. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Anybody else? All right. All right. If not, well, I think everybody who's tuned in today, I think this was a useful conversation. I hope that somebody will take this and they'll use this tactic and be able to go flood their inbox with more deals so that you can get those closed. If anybody's looking for help with getting deals done, if you are trying to explode your portfolio, then reach out to me, especially if you're on Facebook or if you're in this. We can chat about how that may happen. If nothing else, then I appreciate you for taking time out of your Tuesday. I'll be here next Tuesday with another topic where we talk about everything multifamily related. So y'all have a good one. Make it a great day on purpose. And I'll chat with you later. Take care.